The results we have right now are a product of the sacrifices we made in the past. So if we want better results in the future, we have to make better sacrifices in the present. A sacrifice is when I trade what I want now for what I want most. Right now, I may want to eat cookies and cakes and ice cream, but if what I want most is a six pack, I have to trade the thing that I want now for what I want in the future. The problem is we often make sacrifices that are inconsistent with our desires. For example, I may have a math test that I need to study for, but I want to watch TV. So if I make that bad sacrifice, trading the future on the altar of the present, and I watch TV instead of studying for that test, afterwards I may feel resentment. Resentment is the frustration that comes when we make a bad sacrifice. So after watching TV for 2 hours, I may feel frustrated myself. I'm like, man, why did I watch TV? I know I should have studied for my test that I need a good grade in, but instead I watched TV. Why did I do that? And I feel frustrated. And what that frustration does is it leads to more frustration oftentimes. Because when we lose self control one time, that tends to follow us throughout the day. Losing self control in the morning tends to be with us later at night. So we may choose to eat some dessert for dinner. We may choose to make fun of our wife or get back at our parents or do something bad, lose self control in another area of our life because we lost it earlier in the day. That's why it's so important to be self controlled when making sacrifices. Make sure to make good sacrifices so you can keep that self control throughout the rest of your day. So, how do we do this? How do we consistently make good sacrifices? Well, the answer is found in being wisdom based rather than emotion driven. What's the difference? Well, an emotion is an automatic reaction. You can't normally control it, right? It just automatically happens. Like sometimes people call me Steve from Minecraft. Like they think I look like the character Steve from Minecraft. When that happens, I can get the emotion of anger or frustration, saying, "Man, I don't look like Steve. Stop calling me Steve," right? And afterwards comes a feeling. And a feeling is an awareness of your emotion. So after I'm aware that I have the emotion of anger and frustration, I have the feeling of anger and frustration. I then feel angry and frustrated. And that's where a lot of people stop. They stop at their feelings. When they feel angry or frustrated or sad or mad or happy, they then respond in accordance with that feeling. So in this case, I may go insult the person. I may go curse at the person because I'm angry and frustrated and responding in accordance with that feeling. But that's not what wisdom does. Wisdom chooses to respond in the best way, irrespective of their feelings. I love what this proverb says. It says, even in laughter, the heart may sorrow. What that proverb tells us is that our outward expressions don't have to be consistent with inward realities. So I may be angry and frustrated, but I can choose to act happy. I can choose to be patient and polite to the other person. I can choose to be kind. And guess what? When you act in a way that's inconsistent with reality for long enough, it then becomes your reality. So even if I'm angry and frustrated and sad, I can choose to act happy. And by acting happy over a period of time, I then become happy because I acted in a way that wasn't emotion driven, but it was response driven. It was driven by wisdom. And I then have a new reality of happiness. That is the difference. That is how we make better sacrifices, by being slow to speak and quick to listen, by understanding the situation and knowing how to respond, not responding according to automatic emotions. Don't let your automatic emotions produce automatic responses. You can choose your responses. You can't always dictate your emotions, but you can choose how you respond to it. And by responding in a positive way, regardless of how you feel, you're going to get better results because you're going to make smarter sacrifices. You're not always going to trade for the future for the present. Instead, you're going to trade the present for a better future. So instead of making a sacrifice saying, yo, I feel tired, so I'm gonna go on social media. I don't feel like working out today, so I'm gonna eat some ice cream, eat some cake. I don't feel like keeping my diet. I don't feel like being nice to my wife. I don't feel like doing this and that. Instead of being so feeling driven, we can choose to have mental toughness. Mental toughness is your ability to do something despite how you feel. So even though I don't feel like working out, if I'm wisdom driven, I realize, yo, I want the outcome of working out more than I want the feeling of not working out. So I'm going to do the sacrifice. I'm trading my feeling of comfort right now for the future of being stronger. That is wisdom based. That's how you get more mental toughness. That's being mentally tough. It's choosing to act in a way that's inconsistent with your emotions. Inconsistent responses leads to consistent results. That means no matter my emotion, if I consistently respond in a positive way, I'm going to get consistent results. That is wisdom driven. That's how you become mentally tough, and that's how you make better sacrifices. Now, one more reason we make poor sacrifices is because of our habits. We just have a habit of making bad choices in one area of our life. We may have a habit of going on social media, a habit of eating junk food, a habit of thinking bad thoughts. We just have all these habits, and that causes us to automatically make, like by second nature, without even thinking, we make bad sacrifices. So, what should we do about this? Well, it's hard to consistently act in ways inconsistent to the habits you develop. So if you have a bad habit of doing poor sacrifices, it's going to be hard to consistently act inconsistent to that habit. So, like I said, what should we do? Well, what we should do is rethink how we think about our habit. Instead of saying, yo, that's just who I am, like if we just go on social media a lot, we don't just say, yo, I'm just a person who wastes time on social media. Or when we make fun of someone, we just say, yo, I'm just a person who makes fun of other people, not knowing that we can change. We can change how we think about our habit. Instead of saying, I am this person, say, yo, I'm going to change this. Right? Instead of saying I'm the person who makes fun of people, say, yo, I'm a person who's trying to prove my attitude. I'm sorry for what happened. Instead of saying I'm a person who goes on social media, just say, yo, I'm a person who's trying to use their time better. I forgive myself for making this bad sacrifice. By just changing the way you think about your habits, instead of framing it as this is who I am to this is bad and I'm going to change, you then are going to have the motivation to change, the mental toughness to change, and the wisdom driven response to act in ways inconsistent to the habits you had. So hopefully this video helped you in any way. Remember, sacrifice is when I trade what I want now for what I want most. And we have to be wisdom driven. We have to have mental toughness, doing things despite how we feel. If we're emotion driven, we're going to consistently make poor sacrifices. But when we're wisdom driven, we can always respond in a positive way. So this video helped you in any way. Make sure to leave a like and comment. Also, I wrote a book on how to become influential. It's called Controlling the Controllables, How Anyone Can Become Influential. And the message of the book is when I consistently do the things in my control, I can influence others to also do the things within their control. So when I consistently make positive sacrifices, when I choose to be wisdom driven, other people can see that and they can be inspired by my example. They can be motivated by the good results we're going to receive in our lives, and they also want to adopt that way of thinking so that they also can be wisdom driven rather than emotion driven. So if you want to learn how to do that and more about how to be influential, check out this book. You can go to my website at austinmurray.com and find a link to the book there. Thank you guys for watching once again, and check out the video next